Welcome to episode 15, the project activity log. In this short video, we look at one of the pieces of evidence that you complete and submit for your project qualification. This is a document that you will need access to throughout your project, so let's take a look at it in some detail. The project activity log is the same at both level 1 and level 2. It is a document that you will be using to record all of the progress and steps you take throughout your project. Each entry that you make into the document will record a contact point or meeting between you and your teacher. It will be written in such a way that someone who is not involved in your project can read along and understand the activities you have done and the steps you took on the journey to completing your project. The discussions you have with your teacher should always have a focus to help you to make the type of progress you need to complete your project. You might like to discuss some of the following: what you have managed to achieve since you last spoke to one another, ideas you have had about approaches you think you might take, or you might want to discuss something you have discovered. Sometimes you might need to discuss an issue or problem you have encountered, and with your teacher, explore ways you believe you can solve it. Most importantly, you want to make sure your discussion considers what you have achieved and what you intend to do next, as this type of discussion will really drive you forward. Here are some extracts from an example project activity log. Pause the video and have a read of each one. Note down somewhere what is happening in each entry to the log. Hopefully what you noticed is that in the first entry, the student is talking about their first discussion with their teacher. At this point, you will see that the student really isn't sure what their title will be. In the second entry, however, you should have noticed that a milestone has been reached, which is that a first draft of their research has been completed, which they refer to as a literature review. You can see the student talking about their need for a bibliography, references and citations. In the last entry, there has been some feedback on the student's project. It reads as though the student has perhaps hit a bit of a brick wall and isn't sure how to progress. What do you think the student's next entry will be? Perhaps them finding a solution, or did they just give up? Hopefully, they went away and did a little more thinking and moved forward with their project. When your teacher is marking your project activity log, they will be looking for consistent entries over time. It is important, therefore, to make sure you keep this document up to date and log your meetings and milestones into it every time you have them. As you can see from these marking prompts, your teacher will be looking for clarity, detail, and a tracking of any changes, different problems, and how they were solved. They will want to see that the entries into the log are working towards the objectives set out in the project proposal form, and not in a different and unpredicted direction. So it's important to use your project proposal form alongside this activity log when you fill it in.